Well, it's time now for the markets with Leighton. And Leighton, some important monthly reports for the beef sector this week.
That's right. The cattle on feed and cold storage numbers all came out on Friday the 21st. Also ahead in this segment, a forecast of tighter hog supplies and higher prices by 2013. A negative report on rice is disputed, and analysts wonder if the corn market is losing steam. We begin with the cattle sector, where new on-feed numbers and cold storage numbers were released Friday afternoon. Brugler Marketing reported in advance that the trade seemed to be anticipating that August placements would be down about 6% year over year. Extension Ag economist John Michael Riley answered questions about the cattle business in this report. So the market pretty much was expecting lower placements in this new on-feed report.
That's the census. And again, it's the second month in a row that we've been expecting lower placements. Although I will say, going back further months, there's always been this expectation that placements will be low because of the tight supply situation that we've been in for really a number of years, been exacerbated by the drought, but those really never came to fruition until last month, and then that's expected to continue into this month's cattle on feed report.
What has the price picture been of late, the last week or so, as far as cattle?
Cattle prices have been improving, largely due to the fact that we got some rain out of Isaac that really helped. Didn't help corn, but it didn't continue to hurt it, so corn prices have been suppressed a little bit over the past couple of days, maybe even as much as a week and a half. So that's really helped bolster live cattle prices, and that's also especially feeder cattle prices due to the fact that they primarily eat corn once they get in the feedlot. So for the most part, prices have been improving. We've seen, some help from outside markets has helped bring about some picture of improved demand, but all of that still pretty sketchy, but still prices have been improving.
And you mentioned rain from Isaac as we head towards fall and winter, pasture development. How's that looking?
In Mississippi, it looks really good. Outside of Mississippi and outside of some other small section of states, it still looks really poor. Wheat pasture cattle could be a question mark, demand for those types of cattle, because the wheat belt is still pretty dry. They'll still obviously try to get a crop in, but how good the good stand they get is the question mark as we move into the summer.
Mm-hmm. So overall, longer term here, kind of optimistic as far as the market?
You can't help but be a little bit, because supplies are so tight. We're expecting to see that in this month's feed report and continuing into the fall. So the tight supply should help keep prices at least steady, maybe even higher.
Switching to pork now, hog producers in the United States have been selling their animals quickly in order to limit how much they'll have to spend on feed later this year. This is reflected in a report from Reuters, one that says hog slaughter reached a record high in August. Many farmers are losing money, though, on the deal, but they think there could be steeper losses if they wait even longer. Now, a forecast for 2013 does indicate higher prices for producers as pork supplies tighten up some. Let's move to our trivia quiz for this week. Here is the question. Take a look at it. Where is the largest blackberry farm in the world located? Is it Singapore, or Arkansas, or in the Napa Valley, or in Louisiana? You'll find out the answer in a few more minutes. Consumer Reports magazine, as you heard earlier, chose this week, the week of the Delta Rice Luncheon and National Rice Month, to take a swipe at rice. The publication said tests show inorganic arsenic in a wide range of rice products and advised consumers cut back on consumption. Well, the USA Rice Federation called the report incomplete and inaccurate on many levels. The trade group said consumers need to know arsenic is a naturally occurring element in our air, water, rocks, and soil. Analysts say that the corn trade has been unable to attract a lot of new speculative money in the last couple of weeks. This development and this week's roller coaster type market has some folks thinking a downtrend in price is in the making. Analyst Elaine Cubb says it does seem that corn may be running out of steam.
If you look at it from a fundamental standpoint, from the harvest reports, most of the worst fields in the U.S. Corn Belt have already been harvested. So the worst news, the most bullish news from a harvest yield standpoint, has probably already been considered and thought about by the market.
On Thursday in the wheat pit, the trade was anticipating a modest bounce in prices after some recent declines. Analysts like Naomi Bloom note that technically wheat is still moving sideways. She says there is support in this market from the renewed concerns about what will happen with world wheat supplies.
If you look at a chart right now, wheat has just been walking on the sideways plank between 875 as support and 925 as resistance on the December chart. It's likely to continue to do that. The biggest thing in wheat right now still is with Russia. We've been talking about them for weeks. Will they or won't they stop the export? And the biggest thing is that with Russia, you can't count on what they're going to say. You just have to watch what they're going to do. The difference right now is that the USDA pegs Russian production at 43 million metric tons. And actually, most of the trade industry in Russia this week has come out and said, no, it's probably more like 38 to 40 million metric tons. And in 2010, when they actually did implement the export restrictions, they had their production at 41.5 million metric tons. So we are below that.
Just ahead of a feature story, here's that trivia answer for you. Again, our topic was wheat, and the correct choice is B, Arkansas.